Very good evening. We are live from Aarohi. Uh, very excited to be live because we are doing very exciting things here in Aarohi, and we wanted to uh, include all of you in all these interesting things that's been going on in the world of open learning. We have a special guest also today. So while she kind of joins in, um, let me give you a little background of what we are going to talk about today. So today is all special um, uh, for the youth. Many of you know Aarohi started as a open learning community. Sandhya is also there. Awesome. So great. This is so nice, and I'm so excited. So Aarohi, started its open learning community. We started in 2008, and all these years we have been working intensely with so many families, with so many children who have grown, and kind of many of them have reached the age where they want to get into professional world, and that is where a lot of them want to explore their interests, go deep with their passion. So the whole idea of from them, we got inspired from these youth who have done work in their interest. Obviously, two of them are my own children, Asavri and Drupad. Some of you might even know them. So they're all these youth have inspired us to say that, hey, youth can do amazing things with their own professional journeys, which they design. And that is where, after all of these years, we've come up with this CoVersity. We started this journey last year, and let's hear more about CoVersity, and then we will meet Sandhya and hear about her journey.
Okay, thank you, Ratnesh. Hi, everyone. This is Kirtika, and I'm very excited to share about the Aarohi Coversity, as Ratnesh was mentioning. So, what is Coversity? Like as Ratnesh said, we've seen so many youth do all these wonderful journeys, self-directed learners. We thought, why can't all these self-directed learners come together and go deeper in their respective domains? I mean, they have the support of a cohort while they're on this journey. And what is the kind of learning that they do? They will do relevant industry work, connect with the industry, take up live client projects, do internships, and then decide whether this passion of theirs, can it become a profession. So that's Coversity for you in a gist. And this is a dedicated space for the youth who are 14 to 21 years old. And we have a very special guest with us today, Sandhya, who is the mother of one of the Cohorts members as it started last year. And we are very excited to hear interesting insights on how her journey has been being parent to a self-directed learner and seeing the growth and progress of her child through the course of Coversity. Okay, over to you, Sandhya and Ratnesh. We can start.
Yeah. So, Sandhya, very welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. Hi, I'm Sandhya. I live in Chennai. My daughter is 14 years old, Lakshita, and we joined this open learning journey since past 2 years. Now she joined Cohorts last year. Since last year, she's very much interested into filmmaking and all the related areas in that. And we both have witnessed a lot within these 2 years. A lot of changes, lot of challenges, a lot of arguments, and a lot of celebrations.
That is what we want to know about, Sandhya. And one of the key thing which I have been hearing from you and which I want people to hear is this whole journey of commitment where you and Lakshita started, and how the journey, roller coaster journey, if I can call it, of commitment towards oneself and one's growth. How has that happened, and what all you have gone through in that whole journey? That is what we would really like to hear.
Yeah. Like initially, my daughter is very, very, very much against the math subject. She doesn't like it. She hates it very much. So that was a major push for open learning. But initially, she started with so many interests. She had very vast interests. Like she mm, went into psychology, philosophy, digital art, uh, and language, different kinds of language, everything, all sort of things. Slowly, gradually, month after the month, she started explored everything within for a few months or within a few days or even within few weeks, and she started to narrow down her interest to filming. Initially, she was interested in acting, but that didn't work out well for her. She realized it herself, and she's now into the background work, all the background work. She's not like she's still in the very bottommost step only, but she's definitely she knows she's into filming all and that industry. So that itself was a big change for us. Like I was able to witness how she narrowed down her interest. Like she didn't want to do this, she didn't want to do that. She was able to do that. She was able to identify that in the due course of months. And after that Cohorts and all joined, like they formed the group cohorts and all. So she started having mm, specific activities. We can say activities, I suppose. Like she started doing film analysis, and she wrote essays about it. And later on, she made uh, what do they say? I just
Podcast?
yeah, podcast, right? She made podcast with that, and she initially made short films. Of course, it was mediocre, but she didn't worry about all those things. She just made it and went head on with that. She just want to know what is her capacity, what she'll be able to do. So that it was very interesting. She came to know about her mistake by herself. Even with the analysis, all those things, uh, compared to the initial ones, she kept on improving with the later ones. And there were feedbacks like within the community and within the outside world, like you could have done that, you could have done this, but she didn't mind all those things. She just said, "This is just for my documentation. I just want to know where am I now." So it was all very new to me. Like earlier, I was not able to witness all these things, but she was able to discover herself. That I would say not in a single day or single year, slowly, and she's still doing that. Like one day
Yeah,
she'll
so
take.
Sandhya, let's little talk about the slowly part, because when we talk about youth and youth leading their own professional journeys, one of the first doubt parents have, oh, will he be or she be able to commit herself? Will she be able to take responsibility and, not get distracted and all that? So I want you to share more about the initial time when probably she wouldn't do anything and what you will go through. More of your story, right? What was you going through, and how did you sustain it, and how she has blossomed from there, and how she has, in a way, learned to commit to herself and drive herself. Yeah.
From my perspective, I would say the thing you need to sustain all this chaotic thing and all, patience. Patience is the most important thing. I kept on telling myself, okay, let it be. This is just a day, this is just a day, or this is just one
Tell
of
us
the
what used to happen, how a day used to go by without much happening and so on
like
initially.
one day or 1 or 2 days she'll be fully doing studying, researching all those things, and maybe next week I'll tell myself, okay, she's doing something, and the next week suddenly she'll do nothing. For a week she'll do nothing. I'll relax it. Is you're doing something? No, not now. Right now, not right now. I don't know. I'll just get afraid. I'll just get paranoid that what maybe I took a wrong decision or something. But I came to understand it's like now and then incidents only. I came to understand that even if the kids don't do for a long stretch of time, don't worry. They get bored and they get fed up of doing nothing. It happens. It's reality. It happens. Like we have experienced that those things and all because we had a set of thing, school going thing, exam, then a specific very short period for vacation, and again school. So we didn't know what is getting bored by doing nothing, because we always had something to do throughout the year, most of the year. But this happened, I really witnessed with my daughter. Like, so I can understand, okay, this too will happen. Like they say, no, this too will pass. So I, and I believe it now. So, like, of course, patience is very important. And another thing is that do not impose our expectations. Like, we would think,
Oh, that's a
okay,
big one.
like, she has taken up psychology. Okay, oh, next she'll do so many researches and she's going to do something in psychology. No, that is the definite no. Immediately after 4 or 5 days, she'll shift to digital drawing. She'll start doing this. And immediately after a few days, she'll start reading books about Hinduism, about that, this, all this mythologies, Greek mythology, or Hinduism,
So all
all those things.
this changing, Sandhya, what was doing to you at that time?
Initially, really,
So
I
this is
just,
another big one. Let me just share that this is another big one which parents share. Oh, so what? She is 14, 15, 16. She keeps changing her interest every few days. And I don't know what she's doing. She's not doing anything in that sense. So what was you going through and how have you sailed through that part?
uh, from the initial days, like when my mood is better, I feel okay. This is just a short period only. She has so many years in her life yet. She's just 14 only, so nothing wrong with it. But when I'm not in a good mood, I really get angry or really get paranoid, and I'll start lecturing her, all those things, and scold her, and we have an argument. Of course, it dies in a day or two, but. I realized that it happens on and off. But I used to think that we know that I know she's like this happens on a repeated cycle. But again, I cannot control myself, and I am definitely telling in future also I'll get such episodes. So now I've come to a stage where okay, even I cannot control myself. Let it happen. That's what I'm in a stage where I say to myself, let it happen. Whether she's doing nothing or she's doing something, let it happen one day at a time. So, okay, going on.
So somewhere
Okay.
you're saying
So,
that you become more
yeah.
aware when you're having those conversations with her. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Like
And
I know, like okay,
Yeah.
even if she doesn't do anything at all, even for a week, whole week, I know it'll change. Maybe something is going inside her mind or something. She won't tell me, even if I ask her, and even if I tell her we go out and ask her to converse on, she'll speak all of these things. But I don't know, maybe her innermost thought she doesn't share, or I don't know. We like hers is 14 years old, so I'm almost 40. So there's a difference when she says something, I might perceive in my own way. It might not project what she says. So I've just come to that acceptance.
did it also occur to you, or now it is occurring to you that over this whole journey, let's say of a year or so, a little more than that, uh, what has she gained in this whole process? Forget the learning about filmmaking. I mean, filmmaking is her current passion. I'm sure she can pick up a lot of skills, and it's a vast field, and there is a lot of life in her to explore filmmaking in the next 10, 15, 20 years. But in terms of just her own growth as an individual, what have you seen?
uh, uh, like to me, like I think she has learned to somewhat balance and get adjusted to the what do we say uh, sudden what not reality, like reality, like unknown causes might suddenly disturb our schedule or plan, or we might think and go and do a specific thing, but it doesn't happen like that. Earlier and all, she used to rant and be in a very bad mood for a long time. But nowadays she's okay. She hasn't become very saint like at all. Like she's okay. She's better than before, and she knows this will happen. Okay, I just let it go. That's what she feels now. A little better than before. So she knows all sort of unforeseen things will happen, and she's okay with it. Like okay, like if she doesn't want to, if she's not able to like do something about it, she'll just leave it, and she'll leave it, and she'll manage on her own. So that has been a one growth which I mainly evidenced.
I mean, I'm amazed that at 14 years she's able to take charge of herself so beautifully. I don't remember ever doing that at 14.
Yeah.
I guess so what, as a mother or as a parent, what would you kind of like to share? Me, you shared patience, you shared not having expectations and letting them the space that they need. What has been, as a guide, I would say, more like as no less like a mother and a parent, but more like a guide. What has been your role? Meaning, so many people, so many parents are forget the child. They say, "I'm not even sure if I am able to be with the child." So, what's your uh, kind of thought for
I
the parents?
think one main thing is don't keep on advising. If they want it, they surely come to us. Like they know. Only thing is that we have to make them believe, and we have to make them know that we are always there when they need. That is the assurance we have to give. If we give them that assurance, definitely in any crisis or any sort of help if they need, they'll come to us. So we don't have to keep on monitoring, or we don't have to keep on telling them you do this, do that, or all those things are not necessary at all. If we just let them know that we are there for them, no matter what, surely they'll come to us by themselves. So that's when we can guide them. Otherwise, we are just imposing, and they'll just listen in one ear and leave it off in the other. That's it. And have
So
confidence in them. And
yeah,
confidence.
Ratnesh,
yeah, Kritika.
yeah, yeah. I think the other big question that most of us have, like, if you're on a self-directed journey, right? Nobody's going to teach you. Then how does the individual or the child really, where do they learn from? And as a parent, if you could share, what was your role in maybe seeing her through that journey? Where did you play a role, or how did it go about?
Uh, Lakshita was mainly interested in reading very much. So if she's interested in any specific topic, she'll read from books or other resources which we get online. But in case if she needs some assistance, or if she needs to go somewhere and learn, she'll let me know. So if she lets me know those things, I'll just help her to achieve it. That's it. Like I don't say that okay, you go there and learn, go to this institute and learn all those things. If she wants to go and learn from an institute, she'll say it herself. So we'll just pave way for that. That's it.
So currently
So
she has
somewhere
formed this.
the world is your classroom in
Yeah,
a
right.
way.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
and they
Yeah,
are able to
Ratnesh.
recognize that. I want to hear how she's able to recognize that, yeah, the kind of resources are abundant and almost freely abundant.
Uh, I think it's a well-known fact. Like Google is there, so any sort of thing. Like even if she asked me for right from the like small age, if she asked a meaning, if I don't know that, I used to check Google. So she has seen all those things. It's default. Like it's already there. So she knows if she wants to know something, she can search there and put in the keyword. And in case if she doesn't get anything there, she'll come to me. Like how should I search? What should I do? Can I do this, or can I not do this? All those things. She knows. I think everybody knew. Kids these
Yeah,
days
yeah.
do that.
but we tend to we tend to think that, oh, then some, the FOMO part, that what if the child will miss out this, and what if the child will miss. So what about, what is your looking at her growth as an individual, what is your thought on that?
Like if we think like if the kid is missing out or not, it's what we think. It's our thinking. It's not the kid's thinking. If she thinks she's missing out something, she'll let us know. I don't want this or I want this. The kids will let us know what they want. Like we can't decide for them whether they miss that or this, those kind of things. And in the case of growth, I would say the same thing. She has learned the reality better outside world. She knows what there are both. Everything is out there. She knows that. That is like enough. Just that is the one thing. Like I can't specifically say everything. She has learned the reality better.
I mean, I think that's amazing because she's leading herself, and you are giving her that space to be that leader. Right?
Yeah.
I guess that in some ways is beautiful. Kritika, you had something to share.
Yeah. Should we open the floor for some questions? Maybe we have a couple of people who've joined us. So if any of you have any questions, please drop it in the chat, and we'll see Sandhya share her part.
Yeah, and while people share, I have a question. So, a self-directed leader child at 14 years, charting her own journey, discovering her passions, finding resources, learning in her own style and way. So, what is the most common fight point between you and her? I mean, all this sounds very good, but let's also hear the inside story.
Most common and most important thing, like if I say her to do something and if she doesn't want it, she'll definitely not do it. So that's where a fight starts. I'll tell her to plan something and she doesn't want to do it at that moment, and she'll definitely not do it. She'll outright, no, I don't want to do it. I won't do it now. Or maybe she would have thought, okay, I can do it now. Just because I told her, she won't do it at that moment. You told me to do it, so right now I won't do it. But she finishes off. That's the fight point. And also there are there are issues with the with her working and the work that goes on in the house. Like sometimes we finish up the dinner, all those things early, but she would not have finished her food. Like she would not have started a dinner at all. So at those times, I'll have to give her the kitchen cleaning and packing up things. It happens. So we've sort of come to a little bit compromise. It's not successful fully, but it happens. And also other things, like sometimes when they are in regular thing or all, definitely they have to get up and get ready for a specific thing, all those things. That doesn't happen here and all. So they take their own time, their own schedule, all those things. I have come to accept those things a little bit. That is there. And
maybe also come to understand her better.
Yeah.
Because in an open learning journey, because now there are two leaders. You are a leader and she is also a leader of herself, and you are a leader of yourself, not of her. So there are two leaders and both have to kind of and maybe add in the father, and then there are three leaders in the house.
Yeah.
And we all have to, as co-passengers, we have to really understand each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can kind of end this little live call. Kritika, if you have any ending question to ask, we can take it one question from your side and not take too much of Sandhya's time. We'll call her again on some other discussion.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Somewhere, Sandhya, when you see your child kind of take charge of their own life, and sometimes not agree with you on some circumstances. So, is there like a dual thing happening to you? Okay, they are taking charge, but okay, she's not even listening to me. Does that happen to you, honestly?
Yeah, honestly, it happens. But I tamp down my thoughts because I'm happy. I'm happy that she's taking, she knows what to do and what not to do. So I'm happy that percentage is larger than my own thought. Like earlier it was the reverse, but now it's okay. So but it's there, it's still popping up. I think that she's not at all listening, like she's not, that this is what we do usually, but she's not listening. I have those thoughts so many times, but I try to tamp them down and just think, take a time and think. Sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't. I just go, let it go. That's it. It happens.
So
Lot of dueling.
somewhere it's been a journey for you as well, right?
Yeah.
Like along with her,
Still,
you are also
yeah,
on a journey.
still ongoing. Yeah. That's where I think that, okay, I've understood little bit, so I know she'll be like this only. She'll then suddenly some other thing pops up, surprises me again. Okay, but along this past 2 years, I've understood a little better, like more from herself, not just her activities or other things and all, like how she feels or what she thinks, what she wants to do, all those things, like from her learning point of view and her view of seeing things in the world. I can understand a little better compared to the past. So it's still ongoing journey for us.
Okay, super. So thank you, Sandhya, and thank you, people who are joining or who will be watching this little later. We are very excited with these youth who are taking charge of their life, who are building their own professional journeys. Obviously, co-versity means that they are doing it together. So, Kritika, we do plan to have lots of live sessions, I hope, with more both
Yes.
youth and we might have another one tomorrow and so on. So, yeah, you want to share a little bit how people can connect with us, and then we can kind of sign off.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we'll be doing different themes, like today's theme was on commitment, motivation. So if you have any particular concerns or things that you want us to address, so share it in the chat, comment. And you can follow our Insta page, which is aarohicoversity. That will be tagged here. And you can check our website where all the numbers, we also have our numbers which we'll put on the comment. So we are there on all platforms. So do give us a reach and we'll connect with you.
Super. And our website at aarohilive.org/coversity, you can check out more and more details. And yeah, we just want to extend this awareness to all the youth also, and all the parents of the youth who are equally youth for us, young parents, I would say, that we all can together have a wonderful journey with our children and give them, the space to create their own life. I would say not just professional life, but themselves. Yeah. Super. So thank you once again, Sandhya. And yeah, yeah, one last word,
you.
Sandhya, and then we can close it.
Thank you, Ratnesh and Kirtika, for inviting me. So be patient, have acceptance, and don't have too many expectations. That's it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.